Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Journey to the World Championship. My name is Dylan. This is Lost in Space TCG. And if you don't know what we're doing here, quick interlude, quick explanation. I've always wanted to play in the World Championship. I have a PTI to use. The World Championship for Flesh and Blood TCG is in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this year. And if you don't know what a PTI is, that is a professional tournament invite. Basically, it's redeemable for World Championships, Pro Tours, Nationals, stuff like that. Figured Worlds would be the best place to use it. So every once in a while, we're going to be doing one of these live videos where I talk at you about a tournament experience that I just went to and talk about a couple of things that might have happened there and just, general stuff. So this prior weekend was the Calling in Kansas City, Kansas. Fun fact. Right next to Kansas City, Missouri. That really threw me through a loop. Where I played Gravy Bones, Shipwrecked Looter. Now, I've been playing Gravy and basically Mono Gravy since his release, right? I played him at Nationals the week after release. I made sure to get the deck, play it. The list was definitely weaker than I wanted it to be. My play was also definitely weaker than I wanted it to be. But the idea was there. So I figured I could spend the month and a half, maybe two and a half months. Yeah, I think it's like 70 days. So yeah, two-ish months. Working on refining the Gravy play, right? Getting to a point where I felt confident that I could be one of the people who's really good with Gravy, because I think he's an excellent deck. I mean, it's been proven by his tournament winning record. He's been winning tournaments, right? Like, the fact that if he didn't have a 0.5 multiplier, he'd have more points than like heroes like Rhinar right now is insane. I want him to be the deck that like I can do well with because I want to be a good player who plays Gravy. So spent the entire month basically just playing Gravy outside of some casual games here with friends and the stuff that we do on the channel with the Learn With Me series. You can watch me stumble my way through some games of a couple different heroes, which side addendum, we're going to be doing a little bit of change to how we do those videos, starting probably from either this week or next week, depending on how much time I have. We're going to start streaming and then releasing videos separately. But again, so I picked Gravy. I've spent a lot of time working on the Gravy deck, getting to a point that I felt pretty confident with. There's going to be a second part of this video, basically, right after this tournament explanation, where we go over the deck list together. So we can talk about what my thought process was and all that stuff. Gravy ended up winning the event. This is a trend that has kind of followed me across card games. I'm very good at picking the deck that's going to win the event or being very close. Like, Gravy got second at US Nationals. Gravy won this Calling. Icelander, like, I don't know. And when I played Dragon Ball Super, the same thing happened. I would always play the deck. Now, Gravy's a little bit different because Gravy's the best deck of the format, so it's like, yeah, obviously Gravy's going to win or has a very high chance of doing so. But it's always just like a neat little thing. Any of my friends who have played this game and followed me from other games to this game can attest, and it's like a fun little Easter egg for them. So, again, we played Gravy. Let's dive into the tournament. Round one. Played a gentleman named John, who's on Mario. And, we played a really tight and good game here. It came down to a turn where I decided to eat a bunch of damage in order to throw back a turn that either killed or strip the whole hand via gold stack draws, right? So I have 3 to 4 gold, and my opponent is at, I want to say, 6 to 9 life, if I'm remembering correctly. I have the notepad, I could check it. I decided to take a big turn of damage because I think, again, that my hand kills. It's blue light besides a chart, and then it's a chart, swell, conqueror, something, and he had left me with an ally in play that I could swing. I'm pretty sure it's a Sawbones. I vividly think I remember opting to not activate Sawbones because, again, I was like, I need all of my resources to kill. This is my chance. I'm going to win the game here. So we cast a chart. I go, okay, one yellow and a blue is like dream scenario. We'll take 2 blues. We'll take a blue and a red. We don't care. What we don't want to see is double red, double yellow, or red yellow. We flip double yellow. All right, not the worst of the 3 options because we can pop the gold to draw a card, right? Like we can gold chain our way through some blues. So we flip 2 yellows, whatever, we get some golds. We pitch a yellow in hand. Yeah, we have an ally in hand. We pitch a yellow. Okay. Draw red. Not great. We activate Dead Threads because that card's broken. We play Swole Tidings. Flip red. Gravy draws. It's gravy draw, activate, draw the red, discard, whatever I discard. Probably just the red. I think it was a tipple. And then activate the chess piece to then play the swell. Because again, if we find the blue, we can go back to drawing cards with the gold. We can and potentially hit other blues, right? Or hit gold or allies to draw through our gold faster. We reveal another red. The turn is basically 3 go again into the ally swing, which is not enough to threaten his hand. He armor blocks, goes to 1, untaps and slaughters me. So we lose round 1. Okay, that's fine. We've done this before. We've lost round 1 of Swiss at a calling and, won out mid day 2. Okay. Round 2, we play into a gentleman named Ryan. He's on Dio. I almost said Dash Inventor Extraordinaire. That is not the right one. It's Dash.io. We paired to Dio. We're talking, he's a newer player. He recently picked the game up at Gen Con. Thought the deck was really cool. Bought into CK Lionel's list minus the hat or helmet that he was playing. I don't know if it's crown or balance or both. And then, because he was new, there was a little bit of, the new player difficulties that can come with facing an ally deck for the first time. So not being able to prioritize really when you should attack the allies versus going face, when to use the gun to kill something, and specifically using Symbiosis Shot to kill an ally or go at my face and stuff like that. We basically just have pressure the entire game. It's a very high-rolly game on my end where we're throwing tipples, we're making gold, we've got allies on board, we have 4 health allies on board, so they can't really optimally kill any of them. And we're just kind of sending damage in boats. At one point, we're up, I think, 27-3, and he does a boom grenade aggro turn, and we're so healthy to the point I'm so healthy to the point that I just kind of let him hit me for a lot. And then, because of that, we just end with boats and allies and win the game for that. Round 3. So we're 1-1. We need to do 5-2 to make day 2. Round 3, we play against Tanner, who's on Verdance. Now, Verdance players have... I want to say they're in the trenches right now when it comes to the Gravy matchup. I was talking to Cody Williams about, and I think he echoed this on the his podcast last week. Gravy players, or not Gravy players, Verdance players are we'll commit to in the trenches. At least that was, the viewpoint that I was rocking with as well. So most of them are currently presenting Talishar the Lost Prince in the attempt to fatigue Gravy. Talishar, 2-for-4, generic weapon. It gets counters on it. When it has 3 counters, it dies at the end of the turn. Something like that. Once per turn action, swing with it. So, again, they're trying to fatigue you. They're trying to just run you out of allies and then evergreen loop you to death. Now, if you watch the Nats video, you know that I lost a game to not Talishar, but I lost a game to getting fatigued by Verdance or them having a better fatigue loop by having the evergreen. If you go to my locals or anything like that, or you talk to me at an event, I make a joke that the minute you say the words, "I want to fatigue Gravy," that is the game. That is my goal. Immediately, my goal is now to fatigue you, or to present the best anti-fatigue plan that I can. So, Tanner presents Talishar the Lost Prince, right? So we know the game plan is to fatigue. I refuse to lose by getting fatigued, and think it's relatively easier to deal with Verdance when they're doing this. It's funny because, again, they're like, oh, man, this is how we beat Gravy, we fatigue them. And I think it's the easier way. If you just go face at me, it's a lot harder, or can be at least. So the way we play the matchup is we just throw damage, right? We build our gold. They present balance into us. Don't draw 2 cards. I swear. I promise. Don't draw 2 cards. Unless I have to and something has gone horribly wrong, or I'm winning the game regardless of the fact that you draw another card, I am drawing 1 card on my turn to never let you have balance. I want you to have your 2-block helmet, get your value out of your 2-block, and then I will sometimes, usually in about the middle of the game where it doesn't look optimal for you to pop your hat, I will draw 2 cards. Just because sometimes you got to fix your hand, and we're not at the pitch stack yet. And let me tell you, pitch stacking Gravy is an exhilarating experience because you just do some really fun stuff with Chart, Back Alley Breakline, Eye of Ophidia, Pearl Amulet, and some other stuff in the deck. I know the winning list played Last Ditch Effort. Also, shout out to Zach Miller for playing Last Ditch Effort in his deck and me not being a believer. It won a calling, so card's good, right? Now, when I talk about pitch stacking a Pearl Rum turn, ideally there's 2 ways to do it. One of which is with Humperdinck, where you send 22 damage in 1 turn. Potentially more if you have like Rebels or stuff like that, but I mean, it's 12 resources to swing Humperdinck twice. Or you do it with a Swabby. Now, 14 is definitely smaller than 22, but you can usually string other things along into that turn sequence. Really simple. It's you activate Golkus Rum to give your next action go again. You swing the ally for whatever they swing for, and then you activate the Pearl Amulet to untap the ally, swing them again. Really hard for really any deck to survive it, especially if it's the Humperdinck combo. So we set that up. We get there. Time does get called. So I would during my last turn on my Humperdinck swing, and we kind of just like talk it through. No game actions get made. Tanner concedes because I have 22 on board. So we take the win. We are 2-1. Round 4, we play into Jacques in the Gravy Mirror. Pretty sure Jacques was on a list very similar to the list that won, if not identical, which has the great strategy of never losing the mirror because it plays 9 cards that just hose the mirror, or can just hose the mirror, right? So Seafloor Salvage, Sunken Treasure, Fearless Confrontation. Opponent wins the die roll, goes first. They, I think, double port side to put 2 guys in the yard. You start with 2 gold, say go, which is, correct. I have nothing to attack into for stuff like Golden Tipple. If I put a dude in the graveyard and you have Sunken Treasure and I tipple, you get to kill. You get to bottom deck or flip over my guy and get a gold for it. Which is what happens. I attack with a tipple. I discard Scoob because they have nothing on board for me to hit, so I have to throw it at them. Scoob gets discarded and then immediately flipped over by Sunken Treasure. Okay, not great. That's fine. I forget what we do on that turn, but we were able to discard a Humperdinck that's in our hand as well. Just okay. The hand's not great, but it's early game. We can convert later. I remember Charts hits double ally. We're at 4 gold. And then they play and establish the Sawbones, swing the Sawbones, hooking it as well. So I have to Gravy here. Which is probably, actually, this might be where the Humperdinck goes into the graveyard. Because I don't want to block it out. My hand is not great. I have a red Tipple, which kills the Sawbones, and that's kind of all I'm hoping to do. Get another gold, do the thing. And red Tipple's great because it actually kills Sawbones if they tap Sawbones and activate. Well, Fearless Confrontation stops that. So I attack into the Sawbones. He activates the Sawbones. He fearlesses it. It stays around. We end up just getting beat down and Omega outvalued. 1 point we draw a hand of 4 allies. It's just not great. It's a bad time in a mirror when your opponent, after you fist bump is like, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to be in your seat there. But that's okay. We're 2-2. This does, however, mean we need to win out. We need to win 3 more times to make day 2. It feels doable. I'm looking at the tables around me. It's all matchups that I'm perfectly okay with when it comes to fighting to win out, right? There's no Acilios around me, because Acilio's not a good matchup. They're at the top tables. They're doing great. They're X and 1, The Gravy Mirror I'm, pretty comfortable with. I like playing the Gravy Mirror. I like playing against all the Verdances around me. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm pretty comfortable pairing into. Round 5, we pair into Matthew. Matthew's on Verdance. Matthew presents Talishar, and, my pitch stack is good. What's written down is that my pitch stack was so strong that I forgot to make resources off chart as I, quote, blew them up. I revealed eye and back alley break line, so I could just send infinite damage that turn, and I just kind of forgot to make resources. But the turn was like swing Humperdinck twice, and then have other attacks, because it was blow through the gold stack. One of my buddies who plays Kano is behind me, and he's like counting my resources. He's like, you have 9 cards in your pitch zone, your turn is like 30 damage, and you still have all these attacks in your deck, and a Humperdinck on board. So we just, we win it. Again, the Talishar fatigue strategy, because of having a hyper-specific plan into them, feels pretty good for me. Round 6, we play Andre on Slippy. I've spent most of my time between the 2.5K that was hosted the weekend of Pro Tour Singapore and this event, grinding this matchup. So I didn't do a video post that 2.5K. We had like I said, a local Pro Tour, not Pro Tour. So basically everybody who didn't go to Singapore in like the Pennsylvania, pseudo New Jersey area went to this event, had a great time. But there was a lot of Slippies. I played 3 Slippies in a row, and they were not my first paper games, but within the first like 15 to 20 Gravy versus Slippy like paper games. And I went 1 and 2 in that matchup, and I did not think I should have. One of which I lost because of just matchup knowledge, and the other one I got a little high rolled. I mean, Bond's triple react turns after turn kind of beats anybody, right? So played in Andre, right? I spent a lot of time grinding this matchup, learning what lines to play to, establishing. I'd figured out that Cutty Shark and Scoob are good into the assassins, specifically Slippy, because they don't, unless you're running Prowl like Cody Williams is. You don't have 0 for 4s to throw into my guys, and you don't really want to throw 2 things at it or buff it to kill a Cutty Shark. So Cutty Shark just gets to sit there and get value. Similarly for Scoob, I'm playing 1 Scoob in basically every matchup to bottom deck Prismatic Leyline or Tipples, just getting gold generation off of it. But we play a really good game where he actually leads with I think he does like 14 damage through blocks, or some number of blocks in my hand on his turn 1. After I win the die roll and like play a dude on board. It's like, oh god, all right, cool. I'm able to like wiggle my way back, pushing damage in against him. I send like a CNC at some point, or no, I block with a CNC because he like plays out his hand, doesn't have an arsenal. So I like get him down to where we're walking each other's life totals down, and I start to get ahead. We get the allies swinging in, we've got boats, we have CNCs. We're pressuring hand, arsenal, life total, stuff like that. And at one point, Andre takes a good amount of damage, right, to send a big turn back. Because it's getting pretty clear that, while he's removing the allies that I am putting into play that aren't 4 health, he does need to do a big play here soon, not to threaten my life total, and hopefully take some stuff out of my hand. So he untaps, he swings, Bond. We put a Tipple in front of it. Sorry for going, my computer timed out on me there. We put a bond or a Tipple in front of the bonds here, which is probably pretty indicative that I'm just going to slam a snag at this. Cody convinced me to play a second snag the night before the event. So Friday we landed in Kansas City, and he's like, you should play 2 snag. If you have like a weak spot in your sideboard, it should just become the second snag. And we were able to, it's like the Kano trick where you pitch an Oasis away when you have an Oasis to make you think you don't have one. Or to make them hyper conscious that you have one, so they play weirdly. Similarly, I had a snag. I pitched a snag away just to, again, see if I can make him think that I was like, oh man, I need to pitch a blue here. Damn, I gotta get rid of this. But he goes all in on triple react. We snag it. Untap. Establish probably one of the most disgusting turns I've done in a non-fatigue state, which is a Vasti swing Swabby, Pearl untap Swabby, Rum swing that Swabby again, and then swing the other Swabby on my board. He was at 3. You block 6 twice and die to the other one, leaking 1 point of damage every time. Great game. I had a blast playing Andre. He was super cool. He gave me a custom Gold Kiss Rum token. He's from Chicago, and I thought that was sweet. We followed each other on Twitter. It was a great time. Hope we play each other again. And then round 7. This is the win and in to day 2. I play John Zapata, who is a known player, right? So if you watch the AGE circuit over on the West Coast, he's pretty good. He's been playing a lot of Verdants. Now, the name of this video is the win and in. I have not day 2 to calling in a while. It's been at least a year since I've day 2'd specifically a calling. I have lost the win and in, however, at basically every calling I've been to since. Did it with Briar in Chicago. I did it with Viceroy in Memphis. So I was worried I was going to do it here. Now, Parent of Verdants. Okay, cool. A matchup that I'm comfortable with. I'm happy about seeing. Right? This isn't a Cilio. This isn't something super stressful. I'm not in the greatest headspace because of some things that happened before the round gets paired. So I wasn't really playing where I should have been. Kind of just making silly plays that I shouldn't be making. And John doesn't present Talishar the Lost Prince. So I don't get to just settle into my comfortable, I want to fatigue you trying to fatigue me plan. He's got Waning Moon, and he's throwing attacks in my face. Which I think is honestly the only way you're killing Gravy, or like winning the game consistently, is if you just like throw damage and numbers at them and hope they can't block it. Because you do have like the cheat code of Stormstriders and Burn Bear, right? Like that's 10 damage. Burn Bear, Waning Moon 10 is not 10 damage, it's 9 damage. You're not playing Metacarpus node. But you have like a reliable kill point that you get to use, like you get to cheat them on their turn. And I play AB0 a lot of the times in the Verdants because of the fact that I expect them to just try and fatigue me. Or I play AB1, sorry, I play No Warn Hat. I think Mage Master Boots are too important. I think Dead Threads is too important, and I think Gold Bladed Hook is way too important in the matchup. Just to threaten additional gold for like those turn cycles where again, you want to draw during your turn or their turn off the hero ability, and you want to draw one card off gold during your turn. That way that you deny them any potential balance draws. So we play a good game. It gets pretty close in life totals. His hero turns online. I'm trying to actually see what happens here. Checking my notepad. These nice Righteous Gaming notepads you can pick up at the booth if you're at any calling, because basically Tyler is at every single calling. Yeah, so I get John down to 7 before I end up getting Stormstrider into a Burn Bear. And I forget what I send. I like basically send an attack that would be lethal, and John pauses, and I go, oh no. No, you drew the Burn Bear, didn't you? Because he had blocked with the Pulsing Aethers, and I'm sitting again at like 6 life, like, well, the likelihood that you can kill me with anything besides the Burn Bear here is really low. So let's hope. There was a turn also beforehand that I couldn't get a blue into the yard for the life of me, so I couldn't cast my Sawbones. I had 2 Sawbones just waiting in the graveyard to play out, and I just couldn't get there. Again, I was not playing to the best of my ability. So I lose, right? We go 4-3. We miss the win and in again. Whew. Not great. 2 of my losses, definitely feel fine with. The Verdants win at the end. I definitely feel like if I had played a little bit better, then I could have got there. But these things are like, this is important for me to recognize, right? That like I lose win and ins more often than I want to, and have been doing so in the last year. And we are putting in the effort to try and win the World Championship, because just going and playing in the World Championship is cool and all, but like I want to win. I want my name etched into the annals of Flesh and Blood history. I think that'd be really cool, and especially to do it in your hometown would be sick. So we have to capitalize on those mistakes. We have to learn from those mistakes. I don't have any more callings to go to before Worlds. I'm not making it to Montreal unless something changes. I have a couple battle hardens between then. So, if you're watching and you have any advice for the win and in, what helps you in that last round when you're on the cusp of not being able to make day 2? When you're on the cusp of not being able to make top 8 in a Battle Harden? Because God, have I done that too. I did that in Hartford just a couple months ago, actually. As Kano, I blew the win and in to top 8. What are we thinking? Now, the rest of the weekend was amazing. I had a great time. My friends did well. A buddy of mine won the Battle Harden. A buddy of mine top 8'd the Battle Harden. That's Zach Miller. We have a little video at the end for that beautiful boy. You know, it was a great weekend, great time. I love playing Flesh and Blood events. They are the single most enriching card game experience that I think I've ever had. Finishing an event and going, man, I want to play another. My flight home sucked. I was supposed to get home at 9 a.m. yesterday. It's Tuesday now. But 9 a.m. Monday. I ended up getting at 10 p.m. Monday because the morning flight got canceled. We spent the time just jamming CC basically in the airport and kind of hanging out and talking to people. And we're sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. I want to go play another calling. So, LSS, Flesh and Blood, love your game. Killing it. Please do more events. I'm so excited for a calling a month next year. I didn't get to play the Battle Harden because the event capped. I know I'm not one of the bigger sources, but if an LSS employee watches this, please add something to the Battle Harden prizing or add a second Battle Harden at these events, because capping at 128, I understand that it is because of the fact that, these venues close early on Sundays, or they close on Sundays and they want you to get out, and the Battle Hardens were going late. So doing 8-9 rounds is, too many. But I think every Battle Harden that I've been to this year has capped or has been extremely close to capping. So if we could add a second Battle Harden or add a PTI event attached, have they don't call them PTI events anymore, but do the Battle Hardened and then also do a ProQuest Plus, that same thing. And also, if you can make the Battle Harden pricing a little bit better, I know some other content creators are planning to talk about this, but adding top 8 exclusive, top 16 exclusive promos. The EV is not great. Now, you shouldn't, I know a lot of people don't go to these events just because of the EV alone, but it does feel pretty bad to top 16. You go X and 2, you lose your win in, and you get some prize tickets maybe. Just add promos. I think we're all pretty happy with it. We get some a cool Battle Harden promo that's a good viable card or a hero or something. But yeah, that's about it, folks. We're gonna pivot to talk about the deck list, and then, like I said, we're gonna have a little fun video at the end. So be right back. All right, we are back here talking about the deck list. The February link will be down below. So there's a lot of different gravy lists. A lot of us are playing the same cards, right? I mean, there's a lot of just really good cards the deck has. So you can play the winning list. You can play the top 4, the top 4 list. You can play the finals list. You can play Hamilton's list. You can play my list. Now, I can't really speak to the other lists. I can speak about mine. So that's why I figured we'd talk about it a little bit here. And again, we talked about the Nats list. So as I keep playing gravy, because I plan to keep playing gravy at these big events, can kind of talk about how it evolves, especially because we're probably going to see a card banned from it within the next couple weeks. So let's talk about the normal stuff. We're on 9 tipples here. Nats, we didn't play it, but it's pretty obvious that 9 tipple is the way to go, at least currently. The card is just too good. The blue is the best one in the deck. It fulfills your hero ability. It puts a dude in the yard. It makes you a gold. It has a go again attack. But the other 6 are also just phenomenal. The boat is amazing. I want to draw the boat every single time, every single game that I can. I'm sad when I don't see the boat. I want to ride the boat to victory. I'm up here. Or here. Is this a person? This card, Saltwater Swell, is Belittle. I mean, we have this card banned already, but this one blocks 3. And doesn't require you to play another card in your deck. It kind of just does the thing that you want to do anyways. The red, I feel like, is pretty divisive. Some people aren't playing it. Some people are. The effect is just too good, in my opinion, for it not to be. So it being a red, even though it counteracts with a lot of your game plan, it makes your charts worse. the high roll potential you get out of Swell is just exceptional. To the fact that, again, I think if you... This isn't a ban discussion video, but like I think if you ban this card or restrict this card, you might see Gravy pivot to just being a 9 Swell high roll deck, and I feel like that's going to make it feel so much worse. Because like swelling into boat or swelling into like sloops and then the boat or an ally swing, like it just... I think it forces us to stop being consistent and instead just make us be a little bit more high rolly. The allies, this is the main 9. We all play Chum, Morty, Sawbones. Avasti at 3. I was going to play 2, and then I spooked myself off of doing that. I really, really want action point manipulation in this deck with the allies because of my willingness to pitch stack and play the long game, and I just need to be able to throw one as a block or play one early just to get an ally swing going. Back alley break line, this card is amazing. I mean, you have the Saltwater Swells to, again, high roll with it, because if it gets revealed off the Swell effect, it does give you the extra action point. Similarly with Chart the High Seas, you already know Call to the Grave does the same thing. Call, amazing, it's Entomb, or Foolish Burial for you Yu-Gi-Oh folks. Like, these are the things, it's like, these are the mainstays. Like, we all play this, you all play this, Chart's amazing, except when it's not. I've definitely lost games because of Chart flipping poorly, like round 1 of the Calling. Eye is fantastic. It bothers me to say that like Eye feels like a mandatory inclusion in this deck. Now, it's a $600 card, or about to be a $600 card, and that's upsetting. I used to not understand the viewpoint of like banning the Fables because so many of them are irrelevant. But when they are relevant, it feels bad. 2 copies of Fearless Confrontation. I think this card is good, but also bad. I don't want to play 3 copies of it. I don't want to play 3 do-nothing blues. I want the blues to be able to activate the hero ability. Now, it having a 5 in the bottom corner here is pretty good. It also blocks 3. It has a relevant hand trap style effect. I don't know why my brain makes me think this is like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit from Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't blow anything up, but like it just does a job and it's good. When it's good, it's fantastic. It's a blowout sometimes when it does its thing. Otherwise, I just kept pitch stacking the card to have like prismatic leyline turns. It would end with like the golden tipple that I bottomed with Scoob in for like 4 into 8 just for additional points of damage. 1 Give No Quarter. I refuse to not play this card. It's a Titanium Bauble a lot of the time, or I'm just going to keep pitching it over and over again and then use it to play out the Swabby for the Pearl turn or the Humperdinck for the Pearl turn. Just kind of get the ball rolling with that. Especially because like in those games where you want to resolve this card like late game, you're going to have Rum, or you're going to have like Mage Master Brute still up. Loot the Hold. On hit good. I want to find room for a 3rd copy of this card. I kind of missed having the 3rd, but on hit gold. Discard a card good. Sending Swabby with this is amazing. Sending an ally we're going to talk about in a second with their effect attached to like Sawbones or Rigor Mortis here, and then loot the Hold. Pretty good. Rabble, Portside, Tip the Barkeep. Same argument here, or conversation here when it came to Avasti, is I wanted action point manipulation, and I want to abuse Gold Kiss Rum. I want to give go again to things that shouldn't have go again, like my ally attacks, or playing a Pearl Amulet for my arsenal because I put it there and grumbled because my opponent didn't CNC me. Just random things. I mean, I had a turn where I sent 2 Fearless Confrontations because that's what my hand was, but I had Rum, so it made it better. Also, rumming a CNC is beautiful. Sideboard-wise, this is where like the deck gets a little bit more interesting. Right, so 3 copies of Blood in the Water. I like defense reactions. I have been talked off my ledge of including 6 of them, or 5 of them in the sideboard. I missed my Shelters from the Storms, but D-Rex are good. Blood in the Water can be a 6 block. Especially when you... They're really good when you draw them in conjunction with your opponent having Codex or Leave No Witnesses, and you just get to cover it every time. Command and Conquer is... Command and Conquer, I think it's an excellent a card in Gravy. Another divisive like sideboard piece for the deck. I just... Having on hits against the aggro decks and making your opponent care, because a lot of the times people think you don't play CNC besides the boat, so they might arsenal a card like in order to be greedy and have a 5-card hand, and you just get the pressure that. Forcing the assassins to care about your hand too is just solid in my opinion. Sloop, popper, go again, big damage turns. Also, like, I like this in the Verdance games where they're trying to fatigue you because I want to be able to just pressure damage. And just being able to, like, long string with this, putting this in your second cycle is just really good too. 1 prismatic ley line. I wasn't a believer in this card. I am a believer now. I don't think I can be convinced into multiple copies of it, but maybe a second copy. Scoob is my additional copies of prismatic ley line. 4 health is just really annoying to kill. It's a hammer swing, but also it does generate gold for you. And you can bottom deck your stuff, like prismatic ley line. I bottom decked a lot of sea legs in those matchups just to get the additional gold kiss rums. And also randomly some stuff. Like, it's really good in the mirror. Like, you just put their allies in the bottom of the deck. Yellow Tipple, also recycling this, especially when you're putting like prismatic ley line in your deck or back in your deck, really good. And then Swabby, Humperdinck. Again, I refuse to not play this card. It's just too good, in my opinion. It's just so good. And the second copy is because I'm afraid I want to be able to play one, like mid game, swing it, and then if they can remove it, I still have one. Now the Swabby plan, like if you're smart about your Swabbies, you save one for the Pearl turn. If you can't Humperdinck or you're out of Humperdinks, but 2 copies of Snag, Balance of Justice, Crown, AB2, and Flexors. Aggro Respect. Crown of Dominion, I think, is just, it's good, but you just can't play it. Gravy Mirror, and then, yeah, that's basically it. I don't know if I would change anything about this list. There's the problem with Gravy for me is I want there to be more spots. I want to not play this card. I want to just like replace things with things, you know. I want more. I want 85 cards. I want to be able to play 5 more cards. There's just so many things. The Cutty Shark, I don't think I actually talked about this. This card is really good. But God, does it suck in multiples. The first copy is really good, and then because it just does a thing that none of your other allies really do, and it's annoying for your opponent to kill. It's a 4. Nobody wants to swing 4s into it. Sometimes decks have to do 2 things to kill it, so it sits on the board so often, and you can just convert $1 into a break point. Like, you just get +1 in your swings. I was swinging Swabbies for 8. If I leave my Cutty Shark on the board and I got to play a Swabby and swing a Swabby, I just got to swing it for 8 because you have $1 floating. You pitch to blue for the swing most likely, or you have Dead Threads because that card is broken. I had a turn where I played Loot the Hold, activated Cutty, and swung the dog for 5. They couldn't de-react it anymore, you know? Like, you just randomly get so much value out of this, and like the big thing is these 2. Turning these into 7s is so strong. Like, this becomes Swabby. They both become Swabby. You just put an extra $1 into it, you swing it for 7, and that's where, like, I want the third Loot the Hold. Because making them into breakpoints and swinging this feels phenomenal. But yeah, that was the list. Like I said, I'm going to put this in the description down below. This should be a pretty fresh... Alright, it's a fairly fresh link on February. That way, if anybody plays games, you can track it as it goes. But other than that, I had a great time. When it comes to the next series of Talishar videos, let me know what heroes you want to see play. If you have any heroes that you want to talk about, or any video topics you want to do. I just enjoy making content, and I like talking about this game because I love it. So, other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye. B-roll. This is the B-roll for the vlog video. Top 8 battle hardened.
The cinnamon container opened with a little caramel on the table.
Defeated by both Kano and a Cinnabon.